All right, YouTube, time for occult literature video number 7 on the Corpus Hermeticum, the big book of Hermeticism, as opposed to many of the shorter works. This work is somewhat longer than most that I've edited. Most of them fall into the roughly 30 to 70 page category. This is 131 pages. It's dense philosophy, and it's delivered in the form of dialogue. Now, as always, link in the description to the Amazon page for the edition I've released. Another link to my books blog where you can check out additional materials. I don't believe I have any other Hermetic titles at the moment, but there's a great deal of lore there for alchemy, a lot of grimoires, some things that I've written myself, and things unrelated to the occult as well. This specific work is of note primarily because of its density. Specifically, the entire thing being delivered as a dialogue is parable after parable of material related to sort of Hermetic metaphysics, as you could term it. Literally, the concept that the deity being adulated here is everywhere. Man is thus divine, but man is also corruptible. Many other principles within Hermeticism are spelled out here in black and white for everyone. It's essentially the handbook of the entire movement. Now, of course, we know that the Hermetic tradition of Hermes doesn't actually go back as far as some people originally believed that it did. We now, of course, recognize it as being a Renaissance era path. However, it is based on some of these ancient philosophical tenets. They go back to ancient pagan Greece, they go back to Rome, they go back to Persia and Egypt in some form. And you have other texts as well, which quite explicitly list the same things. The next video in this series will cover a work that quite explicitly mentions by Trithemius, who also wrote the Steganographia, specifically the inclusions of the Chaldeans, the Egyptians, and other groups into magical forms, what they meant, and what they continued at that time to mean. It's literally a work of prophecy as well. But as far as the Corpus Hermeticum, it would be difficult to find another work that so easily sums up the entire movement, because literally the entire thing is one long dialogue regarding these miniaturized principles, split up into sections. There's the Pymander, there are the mind according to Hermes, and so forth, which cover different overall topics. However, within the dialogue, there is a little bit of digression as well. It's delivered in the form Tat and his father speaking about mystical topics. And of course, Tad is sort of the mystical underling, asks questions. They are then described in such a manner that the text flows easily, as though it was an actual literal dialogue. And sometimes those questions spark a little bit of side commentary from the person speaking, which we envision to be some mystic at the time who was actually speaking to his son. And there's a great deal of knowledge there, really, to glean from it, as long as you're interested in the actual Hermetic movement. Some people are, some people aren't. If you're going to study any modern sort of occult lore, though, you have to have at least a rudimentary understanding of the Hermetics, really, and the Gnostics in order to do that. So as before, link in the description to the actual work on Amazon, link to my books blog. Definitely recommended for people who are interested in the occult at all. There's really nobody wouldn't benefit from reading about Hermeticism in some form, and this is the central text of the entire movement. That's about all. Peace out.